One of the best things about our world is the lore and legends of mythical creatures that might have once walked among us or were born from the brilliance of human imagination. Don't get us wrong, our planet is packed with incredible animals that deserve admiration, respect, and a bit of obsession. But when you line them up against the beasts of ancient myths, folklore, and fantasy, it's not even close. What's wild is that some people genuinely believe these creatures aren't just stories. In fact, a few are convinced they've got real evidence to prove they exist, so buckle up as we take you through 15 mythical creatures that may actually be real. Number 15. Hobbits. When you look at the broad spectrum of humanity, especially through the lens of evolution, you'll find extremes. Some people grow to giant-like heights, while others remain quite small thanks to conditions like dwarfism or gigantism. We've seen both ends in our world. But some people believe in an entirely separate class of small beings, ones known as hobbits. Different regions have different names for them, such as the Ibu Gogo in Indonesia. That's where this next story unfolds. A group of cameramen claim to have filmed these tiny people while trekking through the woods. The footage, unsurprisingly, is hard to follow. Even in the close-up moments, it's tough to figure out what you're looking at. The people filming seemed confused, and honestly, so was I. The most logical explanation? They likely just caught a glimpse of locals from remote tribes trying to avoid outsiders. These tribes do exist in certain regions, and many prefer to remain unseen. That's far more likely than discovering a real-life Tolkien character roaming the forest. Number 14. Pterosaur. In Idaho. Some people believe dinosaurs still walk or fly among us. One of the more bizarre claims was a supposed pterosaur that was spotted in Idaho. In the footage that made rounds online, viewers pointed out a large bird-like creature soaring through the sky. At first it looked convincing until you pay attention. There's something rigid about how it moves, like it's missing the natural fluidity of a living creature in flight. Its wings barely flap, and at one point, the thing goes vertical without changing momentum. That's not how flight works. The most likely explanation is that someone filmed the sky and later edited a 3D model into the footage. It's not even that good of an edit, just believable enough to spark attention, not enough to fool anyone looking closely. AI these days can do wonders, but this isn't Jurassic Park. If real pterosaurs were flying around Idaho, we'd need more than one blurry clip and a couple of confused YouTube comments to prove it. Number 13. Bear Lake Monster. In the Rockies sits Bear Lake, where stories of a monster have floated around for generations. According to local legend, this creature is either a massive fish or a serpent-like beast living in the lake's depths. Kind of takes the mystery out when someone calls it a really big fish, doesn't it? Still, the tale stuck. Locals ran with it and built up the legend over time. There is footage, of course, but it's underwhelming. The video is grainy, distant, and shows a vague form breaking the water's surface. It's definitely something, but whether it's a monster is another question. It could be a large fish, a log, or even a group of animals swimming closely together. That hasn't stopped people from speculating, though. Just like with Nessie in Scotland, Bear Lake's creature has become part of the region's identity. Real or not, it's become a tradition to wonder what might be hiding in those still waters, especially when the footage leaves just enough doubt. Number 12. Dragon. Dragons are, without argument, one of those fantasy creatures everyone wishes were real in some way. Just look at House of the Dragon. It salvaged our faith after the disaster that was the Game of Thrones finale. And let's be honest, the thought of a fire-spewing reptile you could ride into battle or show off with is insanely cool. Sure, they'd probably reduce cities to rubble and strike fear into everyone, but why fixate on the downsides? Now, believe it or not, there are people who genuinely think dragons once existed or still do. One supposed piece of proof, a clip from a SpaceX launch. During the ascent, a strange flapping object appeared on camera, sparking talk that it resembled a dragon. From one angle it kind of does. But watch closely, once it zips out of frame, it's clear this thing's more cartoon than creature. It bolts off faster than anything biological would, and honestly looks like something from a bad CGI reel. Number 11. Hellhound. Let's steer into something a little darker. Wherever you find stories of the underworld, you'll usually find tales of beasts guarding its gates, like the infamous three-headed hound of Hades. In other cultures, there are creatures called hellhounds, canine-like beasts that either serve the devil or are the devil in another form. Supernatural fans might recall them as Grim Reaper's hunting dogs. A TV show called Mountain Monsters claims to have caught footage of one roaming through the woods. Even wilder? Near an old monastery in Suffolk, someone allegedly found the skeleton of a massive canine measuring over 2 meters long. That sparked a wave of speculation. Are there demonic dogs roaming the earth? Well, not likely. Sure, there are aggressive dogs, dangerous breeds, even wild hybrids, but that's a far cry from soul-snatching beasts of darkness. Still, hellhounds live on in folklore and TV shows because the idea is just too eerie to let go. Number 10. Bigfoot. To quote Doctor Who. Oh yes. Is there any mythological figure more talked about in modern times than Bigfoot? Probably not. And if there is, don't tell me. Bigfoot's been the center of speculation for decades, spawning countless shows, documentaries, and yes, even a series called Finding Bigfoot, which still hasn't, found one. In October 2023, a couple vacationing in Colorado spotted something strange in the open wilderness. As they tried to zoom in, they believed they saw Bigfoot walking through the field. Another passenger on their train even backed up the claim. But here's the issue. Yet again, the footage is grainy. The creature blends perfectly with the background, almost like it's wearing camo. Some suggest it was just a hunter bow season that was active at the time. Others think it was a prankster in a gorilla suit, hoping to spook tourists. Either way, the pattern remains bad camera quality, vague shapes, and a mystery that's more rumor than revelation. Bigfoot is still hiding and riding. Number 9. Yowie. The Yowie is Australia's answer to Bigfoot. A towering, hairy hominid rooted in both modern cryptid lore and ancient Aboriginal tradition. Descriptions of the Yowie stretch back centuries, but the earliest written account appeared in 1876. They're said to stand 6 to 7 feet tall, covered in black or brown fur, and while usually bipedal, they've also been seen sprinting on all fours. Most sightings have occurred in New South Wales, the Gold Coast, and bushland around the Mohau Range. Oddly enough, some reports also come from parts of New Zealand, like North Auckland and the West Coast. One chilling encounter took place in 1997, when a woman in the Tanami Desert awoke at 3 a.m. to find a towering, hair-covered figure outside. Police later found enormous footprints and a torn irrigation pipe nearby. There are many theories about the Yowie's origin, but perhaps the most well-known comes from Rex Gilroy, a self-titled archaeo-cryptozoologist who believes it may be an ancient, primitive relative of modern humans. Number 8. Ogopogo. You've seen mythical monsters, sure, but nothing quite like this aquatic legend. Meet the Ogopogo, said to dwell in the depths of British Columbia's Okanagan Lake. One couple out boating claimed they spotted something strange breaking the surface. Intrigued, they circled back and captured it on their phone. The photo they took shows two odd-looking shapes sticking out of the water, almost like horns. Naturally, they shared it, and that's when the comparisons to Ogopogo kicked off. According to First Nations folklore, this lake has always been home to a powerful water creature, and this sighting only reignited interest. Now, I'm not saying it was the Ogopogo, but it does make you wonder what's lurking down there. Some skeptics claimed it was just a bird or floating debris. Personally, I don't buy that. The photo's strange enough to spark serious curiosity. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. Either way, it adds another chapter to a centuries-old legend, and it's a lot more believable than most of what's floating around online. Number 7. Skunk ape. Florida is home to all kinds of strange wildlife, but some say it also hosts a relative of Bigfoot, the skunk ape. According to stories, this creature is a black and white, foul-smelling humanoid that pops up unexpectedly and scares the life out of anyone who spots it. The smell, they say, is the first thing that hits you. There's footage out there, amateur of course, showing a figure moving in a field before quickly retreating, but like most cryptid clips, it's filmed from a distance and lacks any real detail. You can't quite tell what you're looking at. That's become a recurring issue in this video. Sightings that are too far away with too little evidence. The skunk ape might just be a bear or a prank pulled off with a gorilla suit. But the idea of a Bigfoot-like creature wandering Florida's swamps continues to spark interest. It's mysterious, it's unsettling, and that's exactly why people keep talking about it. Myth or not, the legend isn't fading anytime soon. Number 6. Unicorn. Of all the creatures on this list, unicorns might be the most beloved. Unlike many mythological monsters, these horned horses are seen as majestic, peaceful, and even magical. Depending on the legend, they have healing powers, divine connections, or just a mystical vibe that makes people wish they were real. In one video that went viral, a person claimed to have found a unicorn in the wild. The short clip shows what looks like a glowing white horse with a horn. It exploded online, with people wondering if it was finally proof. But let's not get carried away. For one, the video barely lasts a few seconds. Why didn't they keep filming? Why not get closer? And let's be real, it's not hard to digitally slap a horn onto a horse these days. Most likely, that's exactly what happened here. Still, the charm of unicorns persists. Even if they aren't galloping through forests, they've made their mark in pop culture, and for many, that's enough. Number 5. Icelandic snake monster. Ever spotted something strange in a place where nothing should be, and your first instinct is to pull out your phone? Back in 2012, Iceland had a buzz-worthy moment when someone claimed to have captured footage of a mysterious snake-like creature slithering through a freezing river. According to the man behind the camera, he was casually watching the river when he noticed something odd moving beneath the surface. The video appears to show a long worm-like form undulating through the icy water. Iceland has its share of folklore about water creatures, but none had ever been recorded like this, so naturally people wondered whether this was real or a staged event. The man behind the camera swore it was unaltered, but that's not exactly proof. Here's the twist. He actually didn't fake it. A scientist reviewed the footage and concluded it was simply a trick of the eye. A mix of floating ice, fabric, and optical illusion caused by the moving current. Number 4. Goblins. This next one is so offbeat that even the Huffington Post gave it a headline. A child was claiming that a goblin had been visiting them. At first, no one believed it until a family member supposedly caught the creature on video darting out of a room. The footage made its way online, and people immediately jumped into debate mode. Is it a goblin? A toy? A small animal? Honestly, it's hard to take it seriously. For one, the goblin is tiny. Also, why would it be visiting a child then randomly sprinting off like it's late for a meeting? The way it runs looks weird too, almost like it was edited in or manipulated to look like it had a humanish gait. And if this thing made many visits, why didn't the family upload more videos? We're talking about a supposedly mythical being caught on camera once. Most likely, this was a prank or just a strange clip that got overhyped. Number 3. Rainbow serpent. The rainbow serpent stands as one of the most sacred and enduring figures in Aboriginal Dreamtime mythology. In fact, its worship may represent the longest continuously practiced religious tradition on Earth. Also known as the rainbow snake, it's a central symbol in Aboriginal art and oral history, with its roles shifting across regions. In many traditions, it's seen as a creator being, while in others, like among the Bundjalung Nation, it's feared as a destroyer. The renowned rock art expert George Chalupka described the rainbow serpent as a powerful personification of fertility, renewal, and seasonal rain. It was believed to send conception spirits to waterholes, bring regenerative rainfall, and when angered, unleash storms and floods as punishment. In Dreamtime lore, the serpent slept beneath the earth until the dawn of creation. When it emerged, it carved out mountains, ridges, and gorges. To this day, it's believed to inhabit permanent water holes and govern the flow of water. Like Darawang, its mythology is layered, sacred, and deeply symbolic across Aboriginal Australia. Number 2. Mothman. The name says it all. It's as tall as a human, shaped like one too, but it's got wings and the unsettling look of an oversized moth. A video from Argentina made the rounds when two police officers claimed they encountered this creature on a road. They were shaken up, and honestly, if I saw something like that at night, I'd probably panic too. Mothman's most infamous tale, however, comes from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where people believe it predicted or caused the collapse of a major bridge. That incident even inspired a film starring Richard Gere. There's a museum dedicated to the Mothman in Point Pleasant, complete with a statue. Locals even rub its shiny metal backside for luck. But is the Mothman real? Unlikely. The footage is murky at best, and the testimonies are shaky. But that hasn't stopped the myth from spreading. Number 1. Mermaid. Since this list dives into mythological creature sightings, you'd think we're talking about a few attention seekers chasing clout. But some of these stories, like this one, involve crowds backing up the claim. In 2022, the Israeli town of Kiryat Yam found itself in a frenzy after multiple locals said they'd spotted a mermaid. The first report came from Shlomo Cohen, who was hanging out with friends when they saw a figure on the beach. At first, it looked like an ordinary girl until she got spooked and dove into the sea, revealing a tail. From then on, more people claimed to see her and even said she sometimes performed tricks in the water. Things got so intense that a $1 million reward was offered for proof of her existence. So far, no one's claimed it. But mermaid sightings aren't exclusive to Israel. They've been reported worldwide, especially by sailors. Still, let's be real, if they were out there, we'd have found at least one by now. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.